Hi guys, welcome back to my
everyone.
channel. We're about to watch season 1, episode 6 of Buffy the Vampire Slayer. It is called The Pack.
And while we're here, I just wanted to make a public apology for my behaviour in the first 5 episodes. I've never done reacting before, so I foolishly sort of let slip some comments I shouldn't have done. So we've made a deal that if I do it 3 times, I'll leave the episode halfway through. But it is quite hard if you're a massive fan of the show. Like, I was thinking earlier about how am I going to say about how Willow dies in this episode. I mean... just JK, guys.
Just JK, just
It's a
JK.
new start for everybody.
Just,
Yeah,
just
well
JK
done.
Rowling.
Yeah.
What happened in the last episode?
It was
Episode 5.
never kill a boar on the first date.
Oh, yeah. I can't remember what I thought of it. Did I like it?
You liked it less than us because you thought it got a bit boring towards the end when there was a nice moment between Giles and Buffy about him being quite fatherly, and the boy that she loved was like, no, I don't want to. She was like, no, I don't want to see you because you're going to put yourself in danger.
Yeah, it was a strong episode. It was a nice window into who we think Buffy might become.
So this next episode is called The Pack, and we're ready to roll.
Yeah.
So ready.
Another great outfit.
I know, just thinking that.
Hey, did your mom still pick out your lice, or are you old enough to do that yourself now?
Quit it. Huh? Hey, guys, come on. Wait, it's got my notes in there. What's going on here? I've had it up to here with you before.
The principal never goes on the field.
Oh, just
No.
Really? We were just playing around. All right.
That girl behind him couldn't look more guilty. Right, worst bit of head teachering ever.
Came through big time.
Way to go, Lance.
Oh, playing with him as a cat plays with a mouse.
Is it with those guys?
I like the way her
They're
outfit is markedly more mature.
Every school has it.
Yeah, she looks about 5 years old.
Yeah.
Desks, some blackboards, and some mean kids. I'll handle it. This job doesn't require actual slaying.
Look at him all heroic.
You don't think we should follow?
heroic.
Kyle and those guys are jerks, but they're all talk.
A Mosaic tribesman told me that hyenas are capable of understanding human speech. They follow humans around by day. And once they separate them, the pack devours them.
I hate folklore.
What?
It's so scary.
Oh,
you
right,
like
yeah,
that.
you like it. Yeah, I was going to say. The last episode of this season is called Prophecy Girl.
Really?
That's not a spoiler.
I actually think I
I
knew
don't see any
that. I think I
hyenas.
saw it.
That's not a spoiler. That's not one of my 3.
2.5.
Okay.
Okay, fair.
Now we've seen the hot spot. Come on, supper time.
What are these kids? They're awful.
Oh my goodness.
This is so weird.
Oh, see,
What the hell?
this is when everyone realised that Nicholas Brennan was hot.
He looked hot though. But
Yeah,
what the hell's
yeah.
going on is...
It's a very thrilling.
Yeah.
I was just thinking, I really like the music. I love the music.
The bass line's very good, isn't it?
But I do think that the opening credits, funnily enough, as we've been talking about it so much, are really spoilery. They show so many... I just don't need it.
You? I think it's mostly retrospective.
Come on, Angel pushes your buttons. You know he does.
But we don't know anything about
I
him.
suppose some girls might find him good looking. Alright, he's a honey, but
Honey.
he's never around.
So cute.
When he gets all he wants.
Girl.
Yeah, he seems a lot hotter this episode.
Sorry I'm late.
Here they come. The Pack.
Gang.
Great.
Juice.
The wicked monkey.
Juice. That's a reference that not many of you will get.
No. But you should.
Look them up.
Now what's going on here? This library workout routine is brilliant.
I think they could try and
Oh
find
my
a different location,
God.
couldn't they?
Well, I wait for the feeling to return to my arm.
I think if I was running this school, I would sell all those books and close that library because no one uses it.
No, the principal's on field trips all the time.
Yeah.
He's not cute. No, he's a fierce razorback.
Good facial
He doesn't
expressions.
look mean, Mr. Flutie.
He's mean. He's ready for action. See? But let's get you back into your cage.
Loving that girl.
Oh my god.
With the teeth.
She's so good.
Yeah.
She's the best extra today.
She's
and her next to her.
the pair
At
is
least
great.
40. Older than Charisma. She's Charisma Carpenter's mum.
I think I know what's causing it.
I hate book disrespect.
That's better. Compared to the source
Yeah.
of pain.
That's really bad for me.
Look, forget it, okay?
Yeah,
I
he's
don't
gone right
get
down
it.
the main
I
So
won't
street.
that's really
I don't
good.
care.
I'm over it.
We're over you, Xander. He's definitely a lot hotter as a baddie.
Well, I think that's closer to his real
All
life
regular gym
personality.
classes have been
A
postponed.
baddie.
Yeah.
Okay.
So you know what that means?
In real life, he's
Those
got
of
a
you that may
twin.
have forgotten
Yeah.
the rules are
Has
as
he?
follows.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Spoilers.
You die.
Okay, I'm down to 1.5.
I'm joking.
I want to see the rest of the show.
HD version.
Do you?
because-
Right.
Well, you couldn't even see them.
Oh no.
Oh.
I feel so bad for her.
She just got knocked out of dodgeball. She didn't get murdered.
Maybe she's been trying to help her with maths. Which is English for math.
This is it's a good metaphor for bullying, isn't it?
Well, I assume it's about bullying,
What, the
isn't it? The
facts
whole
about-
episode. Yeah.
Yeah, I think so.
So I won't be needing your math help anymore. Which means I won't have to look at your pasty face again.
Oh my god. Oh my god.
Let's do lunch.
No!
That acting is amazing. That pig. Did you see that acting?
Really good pig
Pig.
acting. Yeah.
So good.
Oscar-worthy pig acting.
I'm so pleased that when I walk around town, I don't have this kind of music following me.
Yeah.
Because I would just commit suicide.
We haven't always been close, but he's
Oh.
never. I think something's wrong with him. Or maybe there's something wrong with me.
Oh.
No!
It's a good analogy of bullying again.
Do you know what? She's heartbreaking in this episode.
Her eyes.
Of course.
I knew she was a great
That
actress.
still doesn't
Yeah, I
explain
think
why
she
he's
is
hanging out
actually.
with the Dog Patrol. I cannot believe that you, of all people, are trying to scully me. There is something supernatural at work here.
Do you get that?
Get your books,
Mulder.
look stuff up.
Oh, Mulder and Scully.
What?
Got it.
You're saying that Xander's becoming a hyena?
I don't know. Or been possessed by one? Not just Xander, all of them.
Well, I've certainly never heard of...
Do you know what? Giles' behaviour
What
doesn't
are you
make
gonna
sense
do?
there. Like, because
In
he
my
should
books.
believe in all things really strange, right?
Look stuff
He's
up.
looking through the books, though.
But she didn't give good evidence. It's
No.
just the feeling she had.
How is Herbert? Crunchy.
That's it. My office right now. Now!
I hope they eat him.
You're gonna have so much detention.
No.
Could you imagine
Your
if
grandchildren will
they
be
did that?
staying after school.
I mean, they're not going to.
Yeah.
Lovely jacket.
But
Apparently Noah rejected
I really
them
like him as a
from
character,
the outset,
though.
They were an evil,
He's-
impure mixture of dogs and cats.
He'd be a good principal.
The Maasai of the Serengeti have spoken of animal possession for generations.
What if you knew that?
Right, so, like,
you
that's...
just read it.
No,
Oh, it's true,
but
okay.
even so, I still think there was slightly
They
more
believe-
characterisation.
Humanity.
Uh-oh.
Xander, we need to talk.
The other's there as well.
You waiting for you to jump my bones?
Hi. I tell you how this is gonna work. I am gonna call your parents, and they're gonna take you all home.
Oops. Then you might be a bit out of your
Thank
depth.
you. That is it.
You know how... Now you wanna hurt me?
Get down from there this instant. Oh,
Oh!
are you insane?
Oh,
Are you fucking kidding me?
my God!
Are you kidding me?
Do you know what?
Shut up!
Being faculty in this school, very, very dangerous occupation.
Hey, Principal Flutie. Ate him up?
The official theory is that wild dogs got into his office somehow. The counts of the primals and their methods are a bit thin on the ground. There is some talk of a predatory act, but
You're right.
the exact
I'm fine, but I'm
rituals
very surprised. You did really well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I actually get 1 point back.
Good not spoiling. He was
We should talk to him.
A nice guy.
he was a good character.
It was quality.
Do you know what? You get your
There's
lesson.
a baby! Oh my god, I didn't realise!
Oh my god. Out of
Just
there.
run!
You're in leisure wear. Run.
Or leave the baby and then watch
Chuck
the
the baby.
distraction. I'm joking.
You know I am.
She is in love. Look how dilated her pupils are.
It's true, my god.
Have you noticed that?
That's incredible.
Yeah.
That's real acting.
Good girl,
She
Alison.
changed her dilation.
Now I know.
Yeah. Yeah.
The students, after hyenas feed and rest, they will track the missing member of their pack until they find him. They should come right to you.
Oh, Willow.
Willow.
Oh!
Oh my god.
Oh my god.
Oh. It's a very tense episode, isn't
I
it?
don't, yeah.
Oh! Shit! Yeah, run. See, she's sensible. Run
She did
straight
what
away.
the blonde girl should have done.
Yeah, just go.
Go.
They can smell her though.
Don't get up. Go on, that's it, good.
Come on. Oh!
No!
Oh no!
Knock her out!
She looks insane. Yeah.
Come on!
Yeah. Oh, are they going to be in the car?
See, why we have to have this conversation every time we see them?
Lock the door.
Monkeys.
Move the car!
They don't have the keys.
Masai ceremonial garb is very good. Are you otherwise prepared for the transpossession?
Almost.
Oh, John, I'll turn
This would
around.
be here when...
Don't ever turn your back,
Why would you...
It bothered me. But the power will be mine.
It's very action-packed.
Giles! Right. You'll pretend to slash my throat and the evil and the hyenas?
Something like that.
Good girl.
Oh,
Wig.
Okay, but I had nothing to do with that, right?
Alright, you only ate the
again, they don't seem too bothered about death.
Was he
No.
cooked and called bacon, or...? Oh my god.
The diversity
I
in Buffy's
I mean, the whole chicken
outfits is
obsession was
quite
size.
extraordinary.
Yeah.
It wasn't really you.
She goes from mum
nobody
to like
messes with
Avril
my-
Lavigne.
It's definitely
That outfit.
superior Xander, except no substitutes.
I've been reading up on my animal possession, and I cannot find anything anywhere about memory loss afterwards.
Oh.
Good thing you didn't need the principal.
Wow.
Yeah, that would have been the worst.
That would have been the worst.
Wow.
Well, that was interesting.
Gosh. Yeah, now, tonally, that was very different. And all the better for it, I think. So...
Well,
Because
it's
it was very
interesting.
gripping.
Well,
and-
you
and
two seemed
genuinely
really into it
terrifying.
right from the start, and I actually didn't like the first 10 minutes or so very much.
Why?
I don't know, but it was when, I can't remember what well, it probably was when the principal got eaten that I got really into it. I was like,
Yeah.
oh my god, this is... Because for me, when I watched the... I don't know, obviously I'm getting into ground where it's like, I can't say anything because it's the future, but one thing I find quite difficult about Monster of the Week stories where things are only really relevant for that episode
Yeah.
is that quite often there's like a threat that actually isn't really a threat because we know that nothing actually is going to happen.
Yeah.
So when the principal got eaten, I'd only announced 1 minute before, well, he's obviously not going to die. It was genuinely a shock.
Yeah.
So I like it when people get killed off.
Yeah.
Because it means that people can be killed off,
Yeah.
and I actually care what's going on screen.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And what did you think? Had you seen that one before?
No. Well, I haven't really seen most of the first series, to be honest. Well, I haven't seen anything until like series 5. But what was really different about this one, I think you sort of touched on it there, is that you begin to, and actually with Buffy at the end of, you begin to care about their character.
Mm-hmm.
And I think it wasn't so much that like the threat was like scary. It's the fact that you started putting people in peril, and what was at like greatest risk was a relationship, and that is the heart of great storytelling. So the reason why I think this episode worked so well on its own is very quickly Willow goes from being a character who's like really funny and kind of like extra, and then you suddenly realise that you've developed great affection for her. And I was really, really upset for her for a lot of that episode.
Her Bambi eyes.
She can act. She really can.
And the other thing, I don't know if you noticed, but you said the tonal shift. This is the first episode without Cordelia.
Oh yeah.
So I think
noticed.
I think those shots that you said like were long and sort of artistic. I think having her in it with the character development she's had so far might have changed
Wouldn't
it.
have fit that.
It wouldn't have fit the mood, which is like you said, moved it on to being something that could be sinister. That our favourite characters might die.
Yeah, and I mean, like you look at like Cordelia, and so far she's been used mostly for like comedic effect.
Yeah.
Like, and I don't know if that stays the same forever, but for the moment, it's that's what she brings. Yeah. What were you? What are your thoughts on that episode? Is it one of your favourites from that season? Or?
Well, I'll tell you, I was genuinely reacting there because I knew that Principal Foley died, and I knew don't say anything that's gonna. And when you said it, I was like, oh, actually try and downplay it even because I remember watching it at the time and being obviously younger and being like, wow, that's really horrible.
Yeah.
And the way he dies is quite horrible.
Yeah.
That
Really
scratch to the
nasty.
face is really deep.
Well, I thought that was going to be it. I thought he was going to get the scratch to the face and then he'd get saved, and then that was it.
Totally, yeah.
Maybe that's a sign of like of the writing becoming bolder. Like, so when someone finds their feet with like what are we trying to achieve, because the universe.
Well, maybe,
here,
but I
hang on, because the universe starts hanging together. So like in a like a supernatural or a science fiction world, the world has to like make sense on its own terms, and it started making sense here.
Yeah, but I imagine they'd have planned out the whole first season.
Well, possibly
before they wrote episode 1.
But tonally, the episodes it's almost like this episode feels like someone's like found their feet with what they're trying to achieve.
I can say, and correct me if this is wrong, but this is what I read, that Joss Whedon wrote episode 1 and then wrote the last episode.
Of season 1.
Or
of season 7.
I think of season 7.
Oh wow.
So I'm not saying that's definitely true, correct me if I'm wrong, but I do remember reading that and thinking that's really interesting. We're talking about setting the story out, seeing where it could go.
Okay, interesting.
Can I just say...
A bit like a sort of J.K. Rowling, where she definitely had everything planned out in advance.
It's the first episode where I feel the theme tune like actually makes sense for the episode.
I've always felt like it does.
No, because it's the theme tune's quite like threatening. It's like got this like propulsive kind of quality, and I really felt that through the episode. Like, had a real like beat to it of like danger.
I also want to say one more thing about watching it now as opposed to 20 years ago, which is that scene where Xander's on top of Buffy.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Watching it now, it was very uncomfortable. Probably the most uncomfortable part of the episode for me.
Yeah.
Because it really was a shifting character, but I thought it was really good acting, and again, something that feels quite brave to do all of a sudden, after you've had like a giant praying mantis 2 episodes earlier.
One thing that we've commented on, and we commented on it when we were having lunch earlier, was the Nazi friend. And it's interesting that we're now is it 12 episodes in the season?
Yeah.
So we're halfway through this season, and there has yet to be a non-white speaking character. And I do think that's really interesting because it's a real sign of the times. Because now, 2019, you would not get 6 episodes in with not even like a line.
Yeah.
Not even a line from a non-white character.
Yeah.
There's a lot of black people standing in the background doing gawping in corridors.
Well, actually,
not getting
the
any
black
lines.
extra today did a very good job. And in the comments, don't say anything about Charisma Carpenter being like having a bit of melanin. That's not what we're talking about.
Yeah.
Like, there are no black people in Sunnydale. Hence why.
No, but there are. There's loads of them, but they don't get to speak.
I have to bring Donna Summer to like
But I find it really interesting.
Give it a bit of help.
I find it it's not a criticism because I know that you guys are all big fans. It's not a criticism of the show. It's more an observation of the time because I don't think that anyone could have a show that is a fairly big TV show these days in America or the UK actually, where you have not a single speaking character that is non-white in 2019.
What about Dawson's Creek was at the same time as this, so that was also
predominantly white.
Right? You know, that's what I mean.
I didn't really watch it.
Well, I was going to say that because similar criticisms have been levelled at Game of Thrones, where although there's
plenty of non-white characters.
Hang on, but the roles, but in some cases, the roles that they play, for instance, aren't necessarily like telling it like a great story. So, like the classic example of Daenerys like being hoisted aloft by loads of brown people as like the shining beacon of white hope. Like, yes, you might have like representation,
not only that, but blonde,
but it's only
blue-eyed.
numerical representation. It isn't like storyline representation necessarily. Obviously, like Missandei, she's a different kettle of fish, but you know she's a translator.
On that note,
someone else's story.
In a similar way, someone pointed out there have been 22 Marvel films. Is that right? And no gay characters in it. And then in other shows, when they have a gay character, like you're alluding to, they're not driving the story along. They're just there.
Yeah.
As an aside.
So we'll see where this
So that's really interesting to me. And there was another. Oh, the other thing we wanted to talk about was obviously for me it's the first time ever watching it. For you, you've watched the last couple of seasons.
Yeah.
And you've watched the whole thing. But I wanted to ask what your favourite character was 6 episodes into this season.
Good question. Do you want to go first?
You go first.
Yeah, though I think we might also the same person.
Right.
I think it's probably Willow. Because I think so far she's had the most interesting, different sides to her character presented. She's definitely one of the funnier characters, but at the same time she's definitely been given stuff that's not just comedic. Whereas someone like Cordelia has at this point only been given very comedic moments, really.
I have to show you, my answer is also Willow, but I have to show you the original actress for Willow.
You mentioned her.
Because as I was watching Willow crying with Buffy on the top...
You thought it wouldn't work?
I thought, oh my god, imagine if they stuck with that original actress.
Really?
Yeah. I was reading yesterday that the reason Willow got the part is because she's in the audition, she's telling Buffy about how she lost her Barbie. Buffy said, did you get it back? And all the other actresses read the line really sadly saying, most of it, but Alison Hannigan chose to show that it was actually a good thing and see the hope in it and said, most of it. And that's kind of how her character goes, because she's hopeful in despair.
Interesting.
That's a great analysis.
So you go with Willow as well?
I go with Willow and Cordelia as well.
And you?
It's quite difficult actually. So in some ways it's an obvious choice because for me it is also Willow, and I like the fact that she kind of has a role in this point is she's very relatable. So she's got no real powers. You know, she's kind of soft and she's an observer. So I feel like
she's good about a computer though.
She's almost like an audience member because she's observing what's going on around her. And she's I don't know. There's just something really adorable about her.
Yeah, she's very warm.
Yeah, she's very warm, very compassionate, and I think it's interesting. I'd love to see this other character, this other actress, because I think it's a good example of where a character drawn on paper can be good, or it could be amazing in the hands of the right actress.
Yeah,
and I've said it before, Alison Hannigan, to go from like comedy and like subtlety into she was really heartbreaking. Very talented. Very talented. My other favourite is actually Giles, because I think sometimes he gets some very, very good one-liners.
Yeah,
he does. Yeah,
and he does a lot with nothing.
So how many stakes would you give this?
7.
I give it an atmospheric A.
I'm going to give it a 9 because I was genuinely quite scared and quite emotional And I went through a journey on that one today.
So that's 24 out of 30. That's probably it might be a second highest. I think Witch might have got 25.
I'm a generous scorer.
So I think it's 25 for Witch and 24 for that, which makes sense. They're both the strongest 2 episodes probably on the whole. Yeah. Does anyone else have anything else they want to ask before we finish?
What ask each other?
Like, I asked who's your favourite character.
Oh, okay. I want to say Rip Principal Flitty.
Oh, yeah.
I thought it was really cute.
Rest in peace.
Rest in peace. Rest in peace. Hey, I guess they'll get a new principal now.
Can't wait.
Yeah, but anytime someone joins the school...
Expect to be dead soon.
Something's going to happen to them.
I wonder who it could be. I haven't spoiled once this episode, and that wasn't me spoiling. I'm going to go to the toilet.
Is it Donna Summer?
You're implying it's like a really big character.
Is it?
No, I don't know. Oh my god.
Right, bye.
Bye. I'm really sorry.